Hi Alisha, hi Adya, welcome to VUTV.
Hello,
To
thank you.
stay access with this series, and today's topic is should schools offer more fun, hobby-based electives? So we would like to know your inputs, we would like to know your thoughts, and the floor is all yours. You can express freely your views and what you suggest, what schools should adopt, what is your experience till now. So I think let's start the session with this, and you have half an hour to wind up the session. So by 5 p.m. you will have to wrap up. So okay, then let's start.
Starting. What are hobby based electives? So, hobby based electives are subjects which are based on interests, and they're like a mixture of fun, practicality, and creativity. And like some examples are like music, art, theater, like drama, photography, etc. And so like the current focus of schools are like mostly academics and exams, and so this creates like a lot of pressure to score like marks, and there's like less space for creativity because of this. And personal interest and creativity often comes as a second thought because of all of this. And why does this topic matter to talk about today is because not everybody learns best through textbooks, and like hobbies help with confidence and like the development of extra skills. And students feel stressed and face competition due to like the competitive exams like nowadays. And education should be about overall growth and not just about scoring marks.
Yeah, I agree. And so basically, both of us are studying in a hostel. So we have we are more introduced to the idea of a holistic approach. But in most day boarding schools, which I was attending earlier, the main thing is always academics, and they only push you to do like activities that really matter for like events. So if there's like sports day, then they make you do sports. Otherwise, they'll never make you do that. And if there's some dance competition, then they'll make you do that. But the main thing is that students don't learn by performing on one day or one stage or a month to get to a certain level. They need constant support by the school so that they can grow, right? And that is why these electives matter because currently everybody thinks that if you get academics first, then like the rest can come later because you need to graduate first, right? But we all know that in today's world, schools don't really like take you unless you're good at everything. So that is something that the schools should know already. But besides that, there's a lot of things that the individual themselves feel when they do these hobbies because uh, you don't always have to get a great output by performing a thing or in school. Like school's not made to just get a certain output, it's for growth, overall growth. So I'm an artist myself, aspiring artist myself, and I've always felt that whatever input that I've put into my growth, it was never pushed by the school. It was pushed by my parents or me or my friends. To get better at it, I had to push myself. So the first thing is that creativity and confidence only come when there are other people to support you to like continue to do what you want to do, right? And obviously my parents are never going to say no to me continuing, but if I would get a professional setup to do this, if I were to be pushed to apply to more places, apply to this competition here and there, which my parents cannot always do for me, which the school can do, it would be a great thing, right? And also that students, I feel, need a certain push because right now I may be able to do this because I was mentally that way from the very start, like from my childhood, but a lot of kids don't. they were always pushed into this academic mindset that you have to be this way, get this much. So they're fixed with very like labels. They're fixed with identities of becoming this perfect academic studious child, right? But they need to realize that hobby based things actually reduce their stress, they build their creativity, they build the confidence, they build a personality in general. And like in schools they need to they need to grow the idea that everything doesn't have to be fixed to a metric, because right now you're getting marked on assignments, you're getting marked on this, you're getting marked on every single worksheet that you do. But reality is that life doesn't mark you on everything. It marks you for your like from what you were from the very start. So, and that is what various hobbies teach you, because besides fun and besides releasing stress, they teach you life lessons, and which a maths paper can never teach you. Um, okay, yeah. So, yeah, that is what I was trying to say, that students need to get more pushed and more encouraged to take risks, because right now, and to experiment more, because right now they're just getting this fixed lifestyle that was set by a school, set the by the system. And especially in India, with schools that are not that elite, with most, and that is what most of our population gets as their place of education. They're made, or they're actually forced to do jobs which they don't want to do in the future. They can become much better, but they don't get the opportunity. So that is why I would think that hobby based electives are really important in schools, because they need to understand the value of process and not just simply the outcome, without any growth of the person in general.
So now I'll be talking about the challenges. So, time is like really important, and already school timetables are like really packed already without these electives. And so, adding these electives could potentially reduce time for core subjects, like subjects which require a lot of time to understand and to go through. So this is like a very big challenge. Like if we introduce these to schools, so we could face this problem also. And academic pressure, like I already said, schools like prioritize academics first. And so boards, exams, and subject and syllabus completion is like top first priority. And so, if we introduce these electives, like parents and schools may worry that the students would, start focusing more on these hobbies rather than like subjects and like what matters. Yeah. And so they think that we might get distracted as students. And so, not all schools have like proper facilities to support this idea, and not all schools also like have trained like teachers for these hobbies. So this like all of these challenges like make the idea like to implement this in like schools like very tough, especially in like smaller schools. And like these challenges just don't mean that like electives are just downright bad and like unbeneficial. It just means that like if we plan like accordingly and like keeping these challenges in mind, so it would like it's very important to do so.
I agree that the time is very important, especially because the Indian education system has a thing known as boards, which I do not support at all. So when these in grades 10 and 12, um, which we are about to face next year, most of us will be told by our parents to stop focusing on things that don't matter right now. But um, that is where another thing comes along, and that is that with hobby based electives in school, there need to be people or like employees of the school that actually promote this, who tell the parents to, allow the child to do this, because all parents need to understand that it's not just about marks. So it's not something we like, as Alicia already said, that they already have a lack of trained faculty to do the actual hobby part. How would they get people to promote this? It's a lot. It's a lot for small schools and uh, places with huge amount of students. It's a lot, and most people cannot get this. But it's a um, it's a thing that everybody should have, but they don't have, and we need to start promoting it. If we start now, then maybe someday the kids who are still giving boards can practice art or do dance or sing to help them besides just getting marks. As I already said earlier, that it helps to reduce stress. And in this time when you're constantly put on this pressure of academics, it helps you individually also. And most kids nowadays, if I look at it from the perspective of kids and not just from the schools, it's that they spend a lot of time doing absolutely nothing, like scrolling and just lying around doing absolutely nothing and stressing over things that they have to do. And instead of being stressed about all of the things that they should be doing, they can simply do something like a hobby to relieve them of that stress. Instead of being constantly consuming things, they can create things. And so I feel that with the growing of schools and schools promoting this, it also has to be the students who are making an effort themselves, because it's not always just like other people telling you what to do and you do it. So yeah, and I would say that like as I said earlier, that the grading and the metric puts a lot of pressure on students, and this hobby-based approach is more self-expression, more non-linear way of thinking. It allows you to think of like jobs besides the classic doctor, lawyer, this, engineer, that. And that needs to be the perspective of students nowadays, because the world has too many doctors already, and they're going to not doctors, but most of these jobs like economists and like engineers are going to get replaced by AI. And these are the things that need to be approached very consciously, because at one point schools are going to reach this point where uh, they're stuck because they're not teaching students the right things, not the holistic things that they need to be knowing. So yeah.
Like, so should we discuss like the solutions now? Yeah.
um yeah, sure.
So I think how we can like consider the challenges and implement all of this, like this idea, is that we keep like these hobby electives like once or twice a week, and they should be optional, or like they should be after school or during the weekends. So what do you think of that?
I think that that's a good idea to start. But see, like supposedly I go to this weekend class and I become obsessed with whatever they're teaching. So I'm going to want to keep doing it, right? Like whenever I get free time, I would want to do it, even if it sacrifices other things like academics. And for me personally, that's okay. For me personally, I think that if one thing gets sacrificed and it has a like much better outcome in the future, like if I get this really good opportunity to become a designer for some massive company, then I would take that risk. But a lot of kids don't have that, and I think that that's a really good idea to make it optional and to make it weekend. But people should understand that they have to leave room for growth of the child and personal interests as well. And also I would say that like the government nowadays have started doing all these schemes about like employment and other things. And I feel that a thing that gets compromised here is creativity growth. I recently saw this campaign where they were trying to make people do like make a logo for the Aadhaar card. I mean, the logo already exists, but the mascot doesn't. So they were making this mascot, and only 80,000 entries came out of 140 crore people. So it goes to show how little people are actually interested to take part in these initiatives. And even if the government is trying to do it, they're not promoting it correctly, and it's very limited reach. And I saw many AI entries there as well. So it goes to show that how like uninterested they are in doing something that really matters to a lot of people. And it's a huge industry. This what like every creative field is a huge industry. You think that these people won't earn money? That is a lot of mindset that parents and teachers and students, even students, have, that doing this won't matter in the future, only if I earn a good amount of income, this that. But in the end, it's the only thing that matters is your happiness, right? Like, I'm waking up to do a great thing. And another point is that you don't always have to make it your job. You can continue with the hobby like thing. It just adds to your personality. So I think that the schemes and initiatives that are taken at a government level or a school level, they should be promoted more, because students need this type of platform for everything, not just academics. Why like talk about why the balance is important, because we have talked about how we should continue to push this forward, but how as like us we can include it in our schedule to make sure that it's more balanced. For me personally, I've always like tried to take out time for my art whenever I was feeling stressed or low, because it is the one thing that I really like to do. Because I can't. One of the things is that a lot of people nowadays have replaced hobbies with social activity, and it can be scrolling and it can also be chatting, and they think it's a good productive thing, but it's really not, right? And to make it more balanced, I would say that replace that and input this, and continue to like grow this so that you actually want to make a balance instead of like squeezing it in your schedule. Yeah.
I mean, how I implement like stuff like this is like whenever like I'm like bored, like I have nothing to do and I'm just about to like reach for my phone, like I just remind myself, not let's not doom scroll, let's just do something productive. So like I have a journal and I like write my feelings, and I actually like to write a lot, and like sometimes I just doodle also. So I think that that's kind of like my hobby, to like maintain a journal, like to also release stress as you said, so it does help with that. So that's how I do it also. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's about it from our side.